So, welcome back to the session. So, last class we have discussed about pattern matching, like how to find out or say list out the data based on some pattern. So, this class we are going to discuss about how to perform arithmetic operations in SQL. So, so arithmetic operations, the way we generally perform arithmetic operation in mathematics, the similar way we are going to perform arithmetic operations on the data that is present in the database. What are the different arithmetic operations that we can perform is like now addition, so addition, addition, subtraction, multiplication and the division. These are the operators that you are going to use it to perform arithmetic operations in SQL. So, to perform arithmetic operations on SQL, say for example, if you wanted to add some data or some value to the salary, assume that. So, I want to add 1,000 rupees to the existing salary, say it is say we have say some 20,000. So, this is the data or the value that is present as a part of salary. So, now I want to add say 1,000 rupees to the existing one. So, the output will be 21,000, right, say it will be 21,000. So, this is how you can perform arithmetic operation in SQL. So, for that how do you write a query is that select first name comma last name. This is as usual getting the data of the first name and the last name of an employees. Along with that want to add a 1,000 rupees to the existing salary, get that earned by each of the employee. So, from which table you wanted to get? It is from employee and say works on. So, these are the table name from where you are getting the data, where SSN is equal to ESSN and the P project number is equal to P number, which is present in employee as well as in the works on department. The next is say ordering of query. So, when you are performing the when you are getting the result from the database, the output can be displayed in either order or the ascending order or the descending order. So, to perform or to sort out the data in ascending order, we are going to use this ASC. The output, if you wanted to sort the data alphabetically in ascending order, we are going to use ASC, and if you want to order the data or the result in descending order, we are going to use DSC. There are the 3 SQL commands to modify the database. So, as I said, the database, the number of records present in the database may vary. Then what are the different statement which changes the database from one state to the other state, means the number of records present in the database at a particular point of time, it is called as a database snapshot. It means the database which changes from one state to the other state. Then what are the different statements that makes the database to change from one state to the other states are say insert, delete and the insert, then say delete and the update. These are the 3 the SQL statement that makes or that changes the number of records present in database from one state and say time to time, or say that changes the database from one state to the other state. So, we are going to use insert statement, delete statement and a update statement. So, now let us discuss how to use insert statement and what is the functionality, the functions performed by insert statement. It is used to add one or more tuples to the relation, right. So, it is used to add one or more tuples to the relation in the sense. So, assume that, so this is a table, this is a table and say are say called the relation with some the records, say 1, 2, 3, say A, B, C, and say X, Y, Z. Assume that these are the records are say called tuples, which is already exist in the table. Now, I want to add one more record to the existing table. So, what we do is we are going to use insert statement. The insert statement are used to insert a row or the records to a table, right. Then what is the syntax used for inserting a records to the table is that insert into, means to which table or say to which relation that you wanted to add a record. So, that can be performed with the insert. This is a insert into, thus into indicates that to which table that you wanted to insert a record. So, this is the name of the table. So, means insert into employee, where the employee is the name of the table. So, now these are the column names. You have to specify the column names to which column that you want to pass the values or to you want to store the values. So, here I am just passing the values for first name, the last name and the SSN, to which we are inserting the records or the inserting the data. Now, next is say values. What are the values that you are going to pass to these fields, say first name, last name and SSN. So, here Richard, Martin and say this is the number that you are going to. So, now this Richard is corresponds to yes the first name and say this is corresponds to the last name and this is corresponds to the SSN, right. Means this data will stored as a SSN, as a part of SSN, this data will be stored as a the last name and this will be stored as a first name. Now, only the constraint note only the constraint specified in the data DDL commands are automatically enforced by the DBMS when update or upload to the database. It means that we should be very careful while inserting the values. So, DDL is what? DDL say is a data definition language. It is used to create the layout for the table or the outline of your table. While creating a table, we are going to force or we are going to impose certain rules onto the table. So, while inserting records to the table, those will the rules will be get verified. For example, primary key. So, already as I discussed, primary key is the key where it is going to maintain a unique values among the records. Now, the primary key, the note of the primary key is that the primary key do not accept a duplicate value, right. So, but when you are inserting, when you are using insert statement, assume that this is a primary key, this is a primary key field. Now, you are trying to insert one more record to this table, say for example, it is say 3. Assume that you are pushing the data like say to this column you are trying to insert 3 and assume that primary key the rule is already imposed on a table and this is the one data, the right, and this is another data. Now, the means this primary key is defined during creation of the table, right. During the creation of the table already you have defined primary key. Now, you are trying to insert the same value, that is 3, to a as a part of the primary key value. In that case, what the primary key rule says that the primary key do not accept a null value, the duplicate value. But since you are already the 3 is present, you are trying to insert one more 3 to the this the field, that time primary. So, it means that it is going to violate, means you are violating the rules that is already been defined as the primary key. Means whenever you are performing insertion or whenever you are changing making changes to the database, we have to note that only the constraints specified in the DLL, means when you at the time of creating a table, you are going to specify some of the rule or the constraint on the tables. So, now commands are automatically enforced. So, that means it is the responsibility of the database designer to enforce the rule on the table. Now, next is it is the responsibility of the DBMS to take care of the rule, whether the user is violating the rules or modifying the rules or say whatever it may be. Means in case if the user trying to violate the rule, then database will throws an error back saying that you are the violating the rules which is already been defined. So that you have to keep in mind while using insert statement. So next is say delete. Delete is another the command used in SQL to remove a tuple from the relation. So now say if you wanted to remove or say delete a record from the table, then we are going to use delete statement. So now includes a where clause to select the tuples to be deleted, means so like in the where clause used in SQL, I mean as a part of select, we can also use delete statement along with the where clause. So now referential integrity should be enforced. Referential integrity should be enforced. It means that the the foreign key values means always in the database we try to store the information in the parent in the parent and child relationship. Now as it is a rule that the child records cannot be deleted unless the parent record is deleted, means if the parent value present as a part of the child, now the first we have to remove the child, then we have to remove the parent record. You cannot remove the parent record before you remove the child record. That you have to keep in mind when you are when you have enforced referential integrity, means when you are when you have created a parent child relationship between the parent table and the foreign table by using primary key and the foreign key. So now if you try to delete a record from parent table before you delete a child table, then so it means that you are violating the the referential integrity constraint. That you have to take care. Tuples are deleted from only one table at a time unless the cascade is specified on a referential integrity constraint, means whenever you are trying to delete or remove a record from a table, it is going to remove one record at a time. So when it is say means one the record it is going to remove the only one table records, table records at a time, not the single record. It means you can delete a single record or more than one records. But while using a delete statement, you should be very careful, right? So now then say why we need to careful is that say delete from table name, right? Delete from table name. This is the syntax that we use to delete the records from the table. What does this statement do is that delete from table means it is going to delete or remove all the records from the table. Suppose if there are 10 records in the table, it is going to remove all the 10 records from the table, right? But it is not the case always, right? It is not the case always. But what is that is, there are say some cases where you want to delete the specified record, not all the records. Then how to delete only the specified record? So we have to use where clause, right? We have to use where clause. Where clause are used to specify the condition based on which the whichever the condition that meets in where clause, that will be get deleted. Only those record will be get deleted and remain will be then the database, right? So that is, so it is better always use where clause when you are removing or deleting record from the table. The number of tuples are the records deleted depends upon the number of tuples in the relation that satisfy where clause, means whichever the records that meets the where clause condition, only those records will be get deleted and the remaining the rows or the relations will be there in the database. So this is a the delete from employee where last name is Brown, right? So here what we are doing is just we are specifying where clause. So in the previous the example, delete from say what is that, delete from table name, say for example say employee, right? Say employee. In this statement it is going to delete all the records from the table. Suppose assume that there are 10 records in the table. So, now all the 10 records will be get deleted. Assume that among the 10 records, there are 3 records, which contains last name of the employee is Brown, right. There are 3 records where the last name of that employee contains this the data as Brown, last name is Brown. So, now among 10 records, so when you execute this SQL statement, only 3 records will be get deleted, right. When you are using delete along with the where class, keep in mind. The remaining 7 it will be there in the database, it will be there in the database. Suppose if you use this statement, so all the 10 records will be get deleted. So, it will not, you cannot get it back, that all the 10 records again. So, that you have to keep in mind. Be cautious while using above statement, delete from employee. So, we need to be very careful while using such kind of delete statement, since it is going to delete all the records from the table. Next is a update. So, as I said, so update is another SQL the command used to change the database, right, which is going to change the database from one state to the update is used to modify the data, the attribute values of one or more selected table. That update can also be used with the where class for updating the data of selected the records. An additional set class specifies that the attributes to be modified and the new values to be updated. Means along with the with the update statement, we are going to use a set. Set is a class that is used to update a new values to the attributes or the field that you are there in the table. The each commands modifies tuples in the same relation. So, each command updates the data to the same relation that you have specified in the where class. The referential integrity should be enforced, means while updating the data or while modifying the data of any relation or any table, we must be we must ensure that the referential integrity is maintained. Means say you can say, for example, you cannot update the data in the child table which is not a part of the data which is not there in the parent table, in case if there is a parent child relationship among the table. Means you have to enter the values to the child table, that the values must be present in the parent table, right, before updating to the child table. So, this is how you can use update statement in SQL. So, change the location and the controlling department number of project number from say 10 to say Bel Air and the 5 to 5 and 5 respectively, right. We have to change the location and the controlling department number of project number 10 to Bel Air and the 5 respect, means we have to change the project number and the location. So, then how to write how do you modify that data, that can be done with the update statement. So, update, so this is a the update class. Project, which table data you wanted to update, or which table the records that you want to modify. Then set the what value that you are going to modify and to which the field that you want to modify. So, this P location, it is the name of the field or say called attribute to which you are going to change the existing value, right. And say department number of that corresponding location must be say 5, means say it will be changed from 10 to 5, and say this data will be updated to the Bel Air. So, the location will be updated to Bel Air, where the project number is 10. For this project number, say P location will be changed to Bel Air and the department number will be changed to 5. So, now the existing data will be deleted, means it will be get modified with the latest data, wherever the the project number 10 is there. So, project location will be get updated to the Bel-Air and say this is number will D number department number will be get updated to 5. So, next is say conjunction the distinctions, right. The conjunctions and the you can perform the conjunction and the distinctions on the table data. To perform say in the discrete mathematics or in the mathematics that you have learnt logical operators, right. A logical operator, what does that what are the different logical operators are, say and so logical operators are and, or and not, right. These are the different logical operators that that you are going to perform in the mathematics, and the same concept it has been brought to the to perform operation logical operation in the SQL. So, among these say we have say and nor, sorry or and or. So, and it is nothing but conjunction and or is nothing but disconjunction, right, conjunction and disjunctions. Okay. So, in this and what does the and do is that, say for example, so the how the let me discuss how and works, right, how and works. So, this is and always takes 2 input, keep in mind always takes 2 input, say input 1 and say input 2, this is input 1 and input 2. So, this is a truth table that is used for and. This is the input 1 and say input 2 and this is output, this is output, this is output, this is. So, input 1 it say as I said and takes 2 input and gives 1 output. Okay. Now, say the inputs are say 1 0 0 1, then say 0 1 0 0 1 1. This is one I say we always say I am talking about logic So, 1 0 1 means true, 1 is equal to true, say 0 means false, right, 0 means false. Now, 1 means the first input is true and the second input is false. So, the output is in case if the first is 0 sorry 1 and the second input is 0, then it gives 0, then it gives 0. Suppose if the first input is 0 or say called false and second is true or say called 1, then it is 0, keep in mind. So, 0 0 that gives 0. So, 1 1 is 1 means if the first input is true, the second input is true, then output is true. If the first input is 0, I mean say false, the second input is also false, then output is 0. Means the condition that you are going to use with the and both condition must be satisfied. If any one of the condition is false, then you are going to get 0 records, right, you are going to get 0 records. So, that is the function of say and operator. So, now this and is called as conjunction in say SQL. Okay. Then how do you perform it? The logical and conjunction combines 2 condition, means it needs 2 condition, both condition must be true, right, keep in mind both of the condition must be true, right. If only of the if either condition is false, the whole statement gives 0 records, it means it is a completely false. So, you remember this truth table to while using and, means the first if the first input is 1 and the second input is 0, I mean say first condition is satisfied and the second condition is not satisfied, then it will not give records. If the first condition is not satisfied and the second condition is satisfied, then again you will not get any output. So, then if the first condition and the second condition both are not satisfied, then again it is a 0 record, means both of the condition, if the first condition as well as the second condition are satisfied, it evaluates to true, then you get a true, means you get a record, otherwise no. So, this is the the how we are going to use the AND operator. So, select what columns that you wanted to get it from the table, from what table, from which the table that you want to get, what is the name of the relation that you want to get it, where, for means, so which records that you want to fetch, or which record that you want to. So, records which meets or which satisfy this condition, get those records, that is what I said, the condition 1 and the condition 2. If both of the conditions are true, then only you get a output, means you get a records, otherwise no, okay. So, now select star from persons, this is the name of the table, want to get some data, whose person ID, whose person means, say assume that the person IDs are 1, 2, 3, 4, this is a person ID, or say now I want to get the person's data whose ID is greater than or equal to 2 and should be less than or equal to 4. Say assume that there are 5 IDs, person IDs. So, now I want to get the data where person ID is greater than or equal to 2 and the person ID is less than or equal to 4. Less than or equal to 4 is what? This is. Then greater than or equal to what? 2 is what? This, means only these data, the data which present in between these two value, in these two value I want to display, I want to the fetch. Now if you just this is one row, this is another row, this is another row, now another. So, now it is going to take two condition, two values. The person ID is 2, yes, 2 is present. Now, and the person ID is 4, 4 is also present, right. It means both of the conditions are true, both of the conditions are true. Now, this record and this record, in the output you get 2, 3 and 4, you get a 2, 3 and 4. This is how you can use AND operator. This is a person table. This is a person table. So, as I said, this is the person ID and the person ID. So, now when you apply the records, right, say 2 and 4. So, now what you have to do is, so it is going to compare every person ID from each of the from the table, say called person, and it is going to fetch. Now, in the output you get say these records, you get 2, 3 and 4. In the output you get these records. Next is say disjunction, right. So, this is called disjunction. See, this is another the operator used in SQL. So, this the truth table, or let us discuss how OR operator works. So, now OR operator also requires two input, say input 1 and say input 2, and say this is output. This is a output. So, as say 1 is true and say 0 is false, right, 1 is true and 0 is false. Now, say assume that, so this is true, the condition is true and the second condition is false, right, then condition the output you get means that you get record, you get records. Suppose if the first condition is false and the second condition is true, then also you get a records, Suppose if first condition is false and the second condition is also false, then output is 0, means you won't get a record. Suppose this is also true and this is also true, then you get a record. Means the OR operator, what does it will do is, if either of the condition, right, is either of the condition is present or evaluates to true, then you get a records, right, you get a records. Otherwise, means to get 0 records, both of the conditions must be evaluated to false, must be evaluated to false. So, then only you get a 0 records, otherwise you get a records. If either first condition or the second conditions are evaluated true, then you get a records, otherwise no.